Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about, well, this from PC Gamer. Paradox wants to get out of the RPG business. Quote, if Bloodlines 2, God willing, is successful, Bloodlines 3 will be done by someone else, unquote. Well, things are not looking very good for Bloodlines 2 again. Well, technically it wasn't the moment they announced the Chinese room to be the developers for this particular sequel. After the Hardsuit Labs failing spectacularly, it was a woke fest with Hardsuit Labs, and we had some expectation. No, not expectations. Hope? Maybe hope that the remake of Bloodlines 2 with the other developers would have been, well, better, and they wouldn't have gone woke. But unfortunately, here we are dealing with a bunch of fucking morons, and that means that they've decided to go woke as well, and again. And we ended up with a character that we don't know if it's a teenage boy or if it's a woman pretending to be a teenage boy. And it just doesn't give that that urgency for the players. It doesn't feel like you are an old vampire according to the lore that they've released, that they're supposed to be hundreds of years old. It doesn't feel any of that. It feels very woke. I think that's the best word for it. But here it is from PC Gamer. Here, for a while it seemed like cancellation was inevitable, and it did almost end up in the bin. Quote, if we hadn't found the Chinese room, Deputy CEO Matthias Lydia tells me, unquote, and seeing what they had done with the early work, cancellation would have been the next logical step because we could not continue as we did. It quote, yep, because Hardsuit Labs released a shooter which was a bit like a MOBA-ish, that it was very generic and very superficial. I don't even know if it's still working or not. I remember being quite appalled. Why would they choose these developers to do this? A game that was pretty much kind of like a gold standard for RPGs, especially from first-person view and in first person. Why would they choose that? It's a game that marked my early years quite a bit, because I remember playing it and multiple times from beginning to end, multiple times. The story seared in my mind. The stuff you could do, the characters still seared in my mind. There's some powers in there that they released that every RPG I play lately, I judge it based on those powers, and the feeling it made you feel once you used those powers, it's what I judge the modern RPGs as well. And I don't think they chose it properly for the developers. But before I continue, here is a trailer.
We are few. We are God's chosen knights. We are born of sin and crime. We are repentance personified. We are immortal. We are legend. We are God's wrath.
So, continuing with this nonsense. Lydia believes in a better place now. Oh, sorry. No, wait. I need to read that one. Thought it was recently struck with yet another delay, pushing it out of 2024 and into the first half of 2025. Quote, it's been in development a very long time, but we are starting to see the game shape up to be something we think it'll be a World of Darkness experience. You think wrong. Everything that we have seen released from this game, it shows it's not going to be that experience. It's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a mess. Because take a look at the main character. This is the main character. He said there's some limited character customization into it. They don't specify if you can actually easily change the face to something more that doesn't look like a teenage boy. And quite frankly, the choice of actually using a teenage boy to act as if you are some sort of very old vampire, Methuselah, or something like that, is just not a good idea. And it's not giving players a very good hope into it, and that's usually also not a very good thing for them. Let's another example here. Steam charts for Vampire the Masquerade, another game released with the franchise. It earned a whopping 43 players in total since release, and it's not doing very good with 3-hour people at peak. Then again, it's a single player game, so yeah, fine, but still it's not very good. Those are Dustborn numbers. And then we have Bloodhunt, which is an not an MMO, sorry, a mobile-like thingy or something really retarded. And people are not very happy about it and not playing it that much. Besides the release date, which it was during May 2022, as you can see here, which had 29,475 players, it has right now 530. And looking at it, it seems the variation itself for the quantity of players, it varied very little during those years, and in fact decreasing as time goes on, and decreasing, and with very little hope of recovery. So I don't think this thing is going to help, and I suspect it's going to end up being the numbers similar to, well, Concord or maybe Suicide Squad. There will be some quantity of people playing it because of the name, the sheer name alone, and the nostalgia it brings, but overall I don't think it's going to net very much, well, a lot. But then again, we may end up having vitiligo options on the character creator, so hey, according to the modern audience, there are 12 of them, that means it's going to sell. Right. Continuing. Quote, it is not a strategic direction to make this kind of game, Lilia said, so if Bloodlines 2, God willing, successful, Bloodlines 3 will be done by someone else on license from us. I would say it's sort of strategic way this would work, so it's still an outlier from what we're supposed to do. We don't know that stuff, so we should probably let other people do it. Yeah. You should probably have let other people develop the game, because quite frankly the people behind Chinese Room does not seem to know what made the original Vampires Bloodlines successful. And in fact, the original Bloodlines was such a good game. I think the scariest map or the scariest moment in a single game that I've ever experienced, and I think, well, maybe after playing it so often, it lost its edge or anything like that. But back then, it was in the hotel. Was it Sea View Hotel or something like that? I don't even remember the name of the hotel, but it was a hotel. And I also twisted my neck. So every scare or every jump of the powerful vampire that I was, well, ish, and it would actually cause physical pain to me. But even then, see, those things stay on your mind. It was amazing. The second time I played it, third, fourth, fifth, okay, possibly the 20th or the 30th time I'm playing it, doesn't have the same edge, like I said, but it was amazing. And I remember back then it won prizes for the amazing design Troika did into that map. And I doubt we are ever going to get something like that in Bloodlines 2, which feels a disaster waiting to just end up like Suicide Squad. Yeah, and this is what makes it even more worrisome, that even they don't have faith in the game. Paradox has its own small-scale experimental label, Paradox Arc, where it can try different things, but a big RPG doesn't remotely fit that. It would have to be something, quote, very different, says Lilia, like a CRPG, but even that, it's, quote, big investment, and now the expectations are higher than ever thanks to Baldur's Gate 3, so, quote, regardless of outcome, end quote, he says, Bloodlines is a, quote, dead end, end quote. That does show a very much how they view the game. It's not looking good. If they don't have the faith on their own product, it means it's going to be shit, that they know it's going to be shit, and it knows that it has problematic development even with the Chinese room. It seems this is not doing well, and people, whenever they post something on Steam or where comments are allowed, and where the modern audience doesn't congregate in big numbers, they are easily trolled. Even I, whenever I see one, I just write in there, because quite frankly, I'm still unsure why they chose the main character or the main face of the game to be a goddamn fucking teenage boy. I am still puzzled with that one. But continuing. As for the future of Bloodlines 2, specifically, quote, we don't drop games, we make sure they work, we make sure they fulfill the promise that they have. Yeah, no you don't. I remember quite a few games that Paradox released recently in which you failed to fulfill that promise. The rest is very much up to the players, end quote. Yeah, very much to us. And it seems that there will not be that many DLC for Bloodlines, and we all know Paradox is the king and queen, well, lately queen of DLC. I mean, look at this. Obviously, with a character roster like this, which shows the concept art, it doesn't fill us with confidence, nor does it seem to be filling up Paradox with confidence. I mean, you even have Ben Shapiro at the far right of your screen. I mean, look at him. That looks like Ben Shapiro. And then two teenage boys, one that kind of looks like a womanish, but with side-shaved head, which is typical, and looking as menacing as, well, a teenage boy. So it's not looking very good to them, and I can't blame them for not having faith, because I have none. And I feel this thing is going to burn the same way as Suicide Squad did, and that is not looking very good. So, on that goddamn fucking hell, have a great fucking night, and remember, fuck all of this shit, fuck YouTube. Oh, and yeah, fuck YouTube again.